Fetch. Fetch. Good boy. Boy. Good patch. Fetch. Good boy. Here. Good boy, Patch. Good boy. All right, Patch. Patch. Fetch. Here. Patch, come here. Good boy, Patch. Good boy. Good boy, Patch. All right, one more. Patch. Fetch. Good Patch. Good boy, Patch. Okay, Patch. Fetch. Good boy. Come here, Patch. Good boy. Here you go. Oh, good boy. Want to get it again? All right, Patch. Fetch. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy, Patch. Good boy. Oh. All right, Patch. Fetch. So what we're doing here is we want to get Patch comfortable retrieving with these, docking decoys or really whatever, but mainly we use these because they look like birds and they smell like birds because we inject them and we introduce the dog to real birds. But the main thing we want to do is get control of the dog in different situations. And here, we've got a fetch, it's a creek here, White Rock Creek here in Dallas. I mean, you don't have to be out on a real duck lease or dove lease or anything like that. We've been working him in the field with the duck and pheasant, but we just want to get control over him in a similar hunting type situation. Doesn't really matter where we are. Here, this is a creek. It's important to use creeks and different types of water because these sort of things can throw dogs off if they've never experienced them before, and you want to be really experienced with different circumstances when you get out in the field because you never know where that bird's going to land depending on where you're hunting. So, for example, if a dog's never, dealt with cliffs like these, you're liable to have a dog fall off in there and get hurt or not be able to get back up. So we teach them to, get up out of these embankments and different things like that. We're doing all this, right here in Dallas, Texas. It's not that difficult to find some training ground. Not really like you need a, professional trainer to do this. You just need a dog that'll fetch. You can start with a tennis ball or whatever his favorite toy is, and if you get a dog to fetch and get interested in the game and interested in pleasing you, you can make a decent field retriever out of him. It's not, any specific type of, serious breeding that has to occur. As a matter of fact, just in a couple of generations, we've been able to pick some pretty decent retrievers. Patch is, probably not one of the most natural, but he's one of the most capable dogs that we've ever had. I would say the most capable. His athleticism is off the charts. So if you can teach a dog like this to do field retrieving, you can be hunting in 100-degree weather. it's not going to be a problem because he's just not going to get too hot. You got to give him water, but it's a lot more durable than, your average retriever. If it's cold weather, see, he's got zero fat, as you can see there as he's walking on the bank. Patch, here, come on. So he's got zero fat, so you want to, put a wetsuit on him or a neoprene vest during the wintertime. Anyway. Okay, all right, Patch. So here we're working Patch on a creek. The important thing about working a dog on a creek or a river or something like that, before you get out in the field, is the confusing thing is he can't run around this to come back to you. He's got to come back across the creek here. Dogs, you have to think that stuff through. I just threw it over for him all the way to the other side, and he kind of ran around on the banks for a minute. But here, I'll show you. I think I can just land it on the ground, and he should be able to re-enter the water. Good boy, Patch. Thank you. All right, Patch. Patch. Well, I bounced it off the bank. But nonetheless, he'll be all the way over on that other side. What you want the dog to do is to be standing on the bank on that other side and have to get back to you across the creek. Oh, shoot. This is one thing you want to watch for. We got a snake in the water right here. I don't know if y'all can see that. He stopped to short when he saw me. Pat scared him. Body's under the ground, doesn't look like a cottonmouth, but certainly don't want that guy hanging around here. Good boy, Patch. So here comes Patch. The snake ran for it. Good deal. Good boy, Patch. So you can see we've got him coming back across the creek without any problem. Thank you. Good boy, Patch. So let's try to land it on the dirt over there. So here we've got my dog Patch on the other side of White Rock Creek here. This is the first time he's been to a creek, so he's used to sock tanks where you can run around the whole thing. I've thrown it for him a couple times. The first time he got on the other side, he ran up and down the bank trying to figure out what to do. But the important point is you don't want your dog stranded on the other side of a creek, especially where you can't get across. That dog has to come back to you with the bird. But most importantly, you want your dog to come back to you. If he's stranded on that other side, there may not be a way to drive over there and get there, and you may be going swimming, and it may not be warm. And it may be water that looks like that. Anyway, let's give it a shot and see if we can get him all the way to the other side. All right, Patch. Well, I hit a stick on the way down. What we're going to do is we're going to throw, different angles across and around this creek, up it, down it. Just want to get really smooth, really consistent before we go, hunting with the dog. Of course, we're going to have to introduce him to live birds, so, a dummy is not, a real bird, so you'll have to get him used to live birds. But the main thing we want to do is get him real comfortable with performing the way you want and under control. He's not running off. There's a bike trail behind me, bikers and everything running around. He's not running up there to see what's going on. So let's put this way down the creek, or up the creek. Patch. So that was good. We've already, broken him of just looking one direction. That's what happens when you first get the dog retrieving, playing fetch. You throw the ball and they run out 30 yards in the same direction you've always thrown it. So what you want to do is change that up a little bit. Get them to run different directions, and then ultimately when we get to the field, we're going to train them to watch where you're shooting. But that's the ways down down the road for this dog, especially because this dog is gun shy. We've been working him on his gun shyness. I think we'll be able to get there. He's just one of those kind of jumpy Lacys, probably be hell on hogs or cattle, although I'm not working him on those. He's just got that real defensive nature to him. He hears a loud bang and he wants to kind of hide and figure out what it is. Come on, Patch, let's go. If he loses, attention, just kind of get his attention and get him back over here. Good boy, Patch. You're not looking for perfection. You're looking to get him connected to the game of retrieving. So let's get it all the way across here. Almost made it. What I want to do is get him to get up out of the creek on the other side so he knows if he's on land, he's going to cross water to come back to me, which is very unnatural for a dog that's only been playing on a stock tank, because they can run around it. So when he's up on the land there, he's not having much problem with it. It really takes one or two times to deal with a dog that's got plenty of confidence like this dog, plenty of athleticism. I mean, there's nothing There's nothing here in Dallas that this dog can't navigate except for the freeway. And there again, won't be too far behind the cars. So here I've landed the dummy on the other side of the creek, and he didn't see where it landed. So he's having to look around and use his nose a little bit here. This could be a sticky situation. You want to make sure the dog's experienced before you do this, or you might lose your dummy, and these things aren't cheap. But he'll use his, there you go. Good boy, Patch. Good boy. So now he's standing on the other side of the creek. No problem. He's starting today. This is the first creek he was ever been on. When he was over there the first time, he ran up and down trying to figure out what to do to get back. And now he's just real consistent straight back across the creek. At some point in the future, we'll want to be able to just do blind retrieves across this creek. So what we're doing here is we're starting to throw this dummy far up this creek. So we started out just throwing it right out here in front. If you can see, we've got steep banks on either side of me. What we try to do when we're training the dog, Patch, Patch, here. Come on, Patch. Come on, Patch. Down here. Patch. Come on, Patch. Good boy. So he's kind of forced to come back to me to this same point. And we want to do that repetitively, so he's kind of funneled back in here to me. See, he was trying to come out down there where I threw the dummy. Good boy, Patch. But with a little encouragement, we were able to turn him around. So let's get him into it again here. Okay, Patch. Patch. You see, I threw him that, up the creek there. The tendency is going to be to take the shortest distance across, but we don't want him to do that. We want him to come, back and funnel up here to me. And we've cheated. There's not really a good place to get out of the water here. So he'll be climbing a steep hill if he goes back over there. What's happened? He must have... Oh, he stepped on it. He's looking for it. He's looking for it. He's staying with it. That's good. I mean, that's what you look for in a dog. He's just learning, but look at that. See, he stepped on it and sank it. Couldn't find it. Stayed with it. Went and got it. That's what you want to see. That eagerness. Hard to work with a dog that doesn't have that level of eagerness. Retrieving is not a big deal, but you do need a dog that's kind of eager. Good boy, Patch. You can see he's coming right down here to this little funnel point. Going to bring it right back up to me. One of the problems we're having with Patch is he brings it to hand pretty well, but right now he's dropped it just a little bit short. So we want to encourage him just a little bit at a time to get that all the way to my hand. The one thing that he's got to understand is that when he doesn't bring it back to me, the game that we're playing fetch in this case is over. So Patch, here, fetch it up. Come on. You want to get him real excited, so he steps up here. Step on up here and give it to me a little bit further. Come on, come on, come on. When you're done with this, you'll be able to tell him, and I like to say hut or whatever, I want him to put that right in my hand and press it in my hand. You can use force fetching for that, but I just like to use encouragement. Come here, Patch. Good boy, good boy, good boy. Come on, fetch. Come on, Patch. Fetch it up. Come on, fetch. Good boy. Fetch. Come on, Patch. I'm having a lot of success here. I may be going swimming. Patch, fetch. Come on, Patch. Fetch it up. Patch, fetch. Good boy, good boy. Good boy, good boy, Patch. Get it on up here. Come on, fetch. Fetch. Come on, Patch. Fetch. Losing a little bit of interest. So I've worked him a little bit hard, but that's the idea. As soon as they put it right in your hand, you want to give them a reward and pitch it again. Fetch. It's little baby steps. Doesn't happen overnight, but it will happen in just a few training sessions. And you just have to focus on the dog the whole time you're training them. I mean, it seems silly. I showed one of these videos to my wife, and she said, well, this is silly. You're just teaching the dog to play fetch. Well, it's a very important and complex game of fetch that we play in the field when we're shooting birds. And it's real important to get everything right. Good boy, Pat. Good boy. So there I got it in my hand, but I had to kind of catch it. What we're going to end up doing is have him really press it in my hand, and if it gets dropped, he's going to pick it right back up and give it to me. Now, we're going to go ahead and throw it down the creek this time. We don't want him cheating and not paying attention where I throw it. That'll lead to lost birds. Okay, Patch, fetch. And pitch it way down the creek. It's not really flowing. There's not much of a chance of us losing the dummy, but later on we're going to introduce some faster flowing water for the dog to navigate. And you can see he'll pick it up out there, come up. He's going to get on the other side, which is fine. I mean, we're not We're not training field trial retrievers here. I'm training a functional retriever in the field. If I shot that bird, my dog's bringing it back, I can be focusing on the next bird or loading my gun or whatever I need to be doing. Here he comes. Gonna bring it back straight over here to me. We've got this little funneled spot here on White Rock Creek here in Dallas where the dog is kind of forced to bring it right back to me, just so we can focus on getting him in the habit of bringing it right up to me, and we're working on the handoff. A little bit short, Patch, a little bit short. Okay, so here, got my dog Patch. We've been playing down in the creek here. We're just at a park in the city here of Dallas. And you see I've got an extremely athletic, capable Lacy dog here. This is my dog Patch. And I picked Patch just because of his athleticism. He's got lots of muscle. He's got the ability to jump, run, and swim extremely quickly and powerfully. So, I mean, as far as athleticism, you'll have a hard time, matching this with any dog. And health-wise, this is not the kind of dog that's, fragile. Very healthy dog, as you can see. But what I want to do is just get some basic field retrieving out of him. I'm not trying to, he went actually for a couple weeks to a, facility where they train labs, and they wouldn't even start working on fetch because they were so busy working on obedience. This dog doesn't sit much, as you can see. We taught him to sit. But anyway, I spent a bunch of money teaching my dog to sit when I don't even really want him to sit. What I want him to do is I want him to understand the game of retrieving, and I want to make it translate into the field. When I'm done with him, he'll stand or sit or lay down right by me, and when I raise my gun, he's going to watch what I shoot and he's going to go get it. It's that simple. So if you're trying to do field trials, train your dog for field trials. If you want a basic hunting retriever, just take a dog that's plenty eager. You see he's plenty eager. Okay, fetch. Fetch. So that's, long toss. That's equivalent of I'd be like a 50-yard shot potentially. Dove decoy here, just using a dock and dove. Good boy, Patch. Come on, Patch, here. Come on, boy. Good boy. Good boy. We're trying to teach him to finish. Good boy, Fetch. Fetch. Good boy. Good boy, Patch. So when you're trying to teach a dog to finish, as opposed to the force fetch training that you see just for a field retriever, the force fetching stuff seems to wear off and stuff. Everybody, you talk to someone who sends their dog to training and they were really good when they got home, and then it wore off. What I want to do is I want to work on the handoff, me and him, and I want to do it in a real personal manner. So, Patch, fetch. Come on, Patch, fetch it up. Fetch it up. Here you go. Good boy. Come on, Patch, fetch. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy, Patch. So sometimes if you want to work on the handoff, you can do a couple of short throws. Fetch. Come here, Patch. Get right down here on his level. Come on, Patch. Fetch. 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 Good boy, Patch. As soon as he actually puts that thing in your hand, you want to give him a lot of verbal encouragement. Throw that thing again. So he starts to know that that's the trigger. He's got to get that thing into your hand, and that makes the game go on. Come on, Patch. Good boy. Come on, fetch it up. Good boy, Patch. So first time he kind of missed my hand. Second time he put it right in there. So it's verbal encouragement and throw it again. Real basic, simple stuff, repetitively. But it's absolutely critical that you do this on a repetitive basis, because I don't have time to mess with this when I'm in the field. I need that in my hand so I can take care of the next bird. Fetch. Come on, Patch. Fetch it up. Come on, Patch. Fetch. Fetch. Come on, Patch. Fetch it up. Come on. Fetch it up. So he's starting to get discouraged, so we don't want to get him too discouraged. Fetch. Just kind of kick it out there a little bit. Come on, Patch. Come on, Patch. Fetch. Come on, Patch. Fetch. 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 Good boy. Fetch. Come on, Patch. Fetch it up. Fetch it up. Fetch it up. Oh, stuffed on his foot. Fetch. Come on. Fetch it up. Fetch it up. Come on, Patch. Fetch it up. Come on, Patch. He's getting confused, so we don't want to wear him out. Good boy, Patch. Fetch it up. Come here. Come on, Patch. Fetch it up. We don't want him to get worn out. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. All right, Patch. Here. Fetch it up. Come on, Patch. Patch. Come on. Yeah. Well, that's enough work for right now. Don't want the dog to get too frustrated. Come on, Patch. Here. Come on. Come on. One more shot. Come on, Patch. Put it right in here. Good boy. Good boy. Patch. Fetch. A little bit at a time. A little bit at a time. When we go to real birds, then I'll be able to get him to put that real bird in my hand. I don't want to mess with that when I'm training him, because these they don't tend to chew up. They smell like a dove because you inject them with scent, but they really don't smell, good enough to eat. All right, Patch, fetch. As you can see, I'm humming this out here. It's not real hot today, but if it were 100 degrees, this dog would be performing just fine. A lot of retrievers aren't very well suited for dove hunting. That's one place where, at least in Texas, where Lacy can really excel for you. Is this very heat tolerant dog, very durable. Okay, Patch, fetch. And I mean, I'm whizzing that out there, and there's, no athletic challenge for the dog.